Hello. Hi there. Welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series. The Guiding Voice for a better future. This podcast is to help professional students, IT employees, and entrepreneurs to shape their careers. Dear listeners, in every episode, we interact with industry leaders, or experts, or academicians, or coaches across the globe to drive some insightful conversations that will help our audience learn great things. Also, we share an interesting trivia or fun fact about the IT world or technology towards the end. Thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and with my co-host Sudhakar. So folks, we grow up with dreams and aspirations to be successful and happy in life. And to be successful in life, be it professionally or personally, we all juggle through two important attributes in the life. They are the skill set and the mindset. So in order to understand more about the skill set and the mindset, we need to approach some experts. So to talk this intriguing topic, we are pleased to welcome Vishnu to our show.
Vishnuvardhan Nadella is currently working with Gupshup Technology as Vice President and Head of Technical Operations and IT. He is a seasoned technology leader in IT industry with expertise in global IT infrastructure, cloud engineering, enterprise application and digital transformation. Vishnu has worked in large-scale enterprises like SingTel, VMware, Oracle, TiVo and Intuit. He is an electronic and communication engineering graduate from Madras University with MBA in IT. He has Global CIO certification from India School of Business. Vishnu is driven by passion for technology and people to deliver value and improve the end user experience. Vishnu's specific areas of interest include strategy, leadership development, and continuous learning. He has wide intercultural experiences spanning Asia, Europe, and North America. Vishnu, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Sudhakar and Naveen, for inviting me to your podcast. This is a very noble effort. I wish we had this kind of help during our growing years. Hello, everyone. I am very excited to be part of this podcast and share my experience. Thank you.
Vishnu, we started this podcast series especially with the intent to reach out to the college students and young professionals, especially because of the topic that you touched upon. We did not have this type of opportunity when we were growing. So thank you for taking time.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
So Vishnu, how do you define and differentiate these two great words that Naveen introduced, skill set and mindset?
True. Skill set is an ability or abilities necessary to perform a job, and examples are human relations, research, planning, leadership, management, communication, technical skills. And skill sets can be easily acquired by training, learning, observing, and with experience of doing that particular job or doing any particular skill for a long time or for a duration of time. But is it enough? Definitely not. The reason being, a mindset is very important because it is what believes qualities such as intelligence, talent are fixed or changeable traits, which decide how you leverage your skill sets. So skill sets are required for you, but at the same time, mindset decides how you leverage your skill sets.
So these two words that you explained, skill set and mindset, they seem to be the two sides of the coin. So which one is superior in your opinion, Vishnu?
Definitely mindset. Your mindset either enables you or restricts you on how you can use your skill set. Mindset matters over skill set. With right mindset, any skill can be acquired. But a great skill, rigid mindset will make you restricted in your abilities to grow and succeed, achieve in life.
So you mentioned about this rigid mindset. That reminds me about a concept called fixed mindset and the growth mindset. So what are the differences and how does the mindset define somebody's personality?
Sure. In a fixed mindset, person believes that talent, intelligence are inborn and unchangeable, or they're rather a privilege that they have. And people with their mindsets are restricted because they think in a very closed sandbox kind of environment, and they're very rigid in their nature and approach. and they are not open to changes. And over a period of time, they outgrow the skill set because they're still playing in their own sandbox. And eventually the skills become irrelevant. As far as growth mindset is concerned, people can also call them rational because they believe in abilities that can be developed, strengthened, by a way of commitment, learning, unlearning what they know and learning new things. Can be new things in life, new skills, new experiences, and with very hard work.
That's very crisp. Now, tying this mindset topic with the skill set, how do you think mindset plays a key role in acquiring or enhancing somebody's skill set?
Sure. First, people who are rational in their approach or in their mindset or have growth mindset are the ones who are curious, who are always curious to find out what's happening around them and want to make a difference by addressing, they identify the challenges and they want to address it. They want to find a solution to it. They communicate clearly and have a very clear vision of what they would like to do in terms of their life or in their career or even how to get a task done. And only way to learn or add skills consistently is to looking through the issues, challenges, problems, finding solutions. You might not succeed all the time, right? But taking that calculated risk is what makes you a rational mindset or a growth mindset because you're looking outside your comfort zone. And that enables your skill set, that enables you to be prepared for failures or learn the failures as your next stepping stone for success.
Great points there, Vishnu. So the experience that you have with issues, challenges and problems and the problem solving skills enable you to become more and more rational with your open mindset. Amazing. So Vishnu, in your experience with the startup, small and large, huge multinational companies and the experience you have with interacting with people from diversified backgrounds and cultures, what kind of mindset have you seen people to be successful in their career?
Good question, Sudhakar. So success, it's an individual opinion. I see success in a certain way. You will be seeing success in your own perception. So success is actually an individual perception. And in my opinion, which is purely backed by my experience, and this is my thought process, is having a growth or a rational mindset are the ones which make difference in their careers or life. One big example being Steve Ballmer and Satya Nadella. Steve Ballmer was the CEO of Microsoft before Satya Nadella took over. And Steve Ballmer took over from Bill Gates. And if you see the trajectory of Bill Gates, it's a spike. And when you look at Steve Ballmer, it was a steady line. Microsoft was surviving because of what they had done 10 years before. And their wide reach actually survived the company to keep the revenues. They weren't, doing great, but they were surviving. They were doing well. But once Satya Nadella took over, and Satya Nadella has the same skill because he was groomed by Steve Ballmer. But his mindset, his approach, his growth of mindset, technical skills, his experience, and of the market, knowledge of the market is what changed or turned things around for Microsoft. And look at where Microsoft today is. Their revenues have grown up by 10 times, 10-fold in the last 5 years ever since Satya Nadella has taken over. That's the difference.
Great example that anyone can connect to because this is happening in the current generation. In the last 15-20 years of our professional journey, we can see things and we can connect with what they have done. So Vishnu, skill set is a dynamic and ever evolving topic, right? So how to ensure we are always on top of our game?
Yeah, it is dynamic and it is very dynamic from when we were growing up to today. It's dynamic in nature because of today's world, the way ever-changing technology, the rate at which the technology is changing, the rate at which ecosystem is doing, the way you do business has changed, the finance modeling has changed, world's communication has changed. So if you look at how things are changing, they're very dynamic in nature. And we have to constantly evaluate ourselves to see where we are and how we're doing in the current situation, where we want to get to, what are our gaps, or how do we get there. And so a constant evaluation of ourselves is the only way. And that's the mindset that will actually take you forward. And it happens, sometimes you don't need a change, but sometimes you have to make a change. It is not that you will have to keep changing yourself.
Yep, I think it makes sense. probably we need to gauge how things are happening in the outside world and evaluate and respond appropriately.
Very true.
So slightly changing the topic and talking a bit about your personal life, were there any instances where you needed to course correct either on the skill set perspective or on the mindset perspective, and how did you deal with that situation?
I had to do it multiple times in the last 22 years. I joined a company as a tax support engineer. Then I moved to system. Then from system, I moved to cloud. From cloud, I moved to technical management. And now today, I'm in a leadership position. And these are all the changes where I had to do course correction. I had to upskill myself. I had to change my approach. I had to change my mindset, which is both my approach and the skill set being utilized to get to where I am today.
So Vishnu, what are your tips for those aspiring to focus either on their mindset or the skill set in order to stay relevant and maybe step outside their comfort zone and try to deal with bigger and bigger challenges?
Excellent point there. It all boils down to being curious, addressing the challenges, issues, anything that they see, that needs to be addressed, and taking that, giving it a shot. There's not there. It is a problem, and it is there for somebody to fix it. Why not take it? Right? It's constant self-evaluation, intent and attitude to get it done, commitment and hard work, communicate very clearly, and have the thought of saying it is okay to fail. We are humans, but do that with a calculated risk. And every time you fail, learn from the failure and use that for your next success.
Vishnu, continuing on the personal side of your life, who is your inspiration to be positive from the industry or from professional world?
I don't have one particular person. I look up to different people. I've learned from my colleagues. I've learned from my subordinates. I've learned from my boss. I've learned from friends like you. I see learning is everywhere. There are people who inspire you with so many things. It's just a matter of looking and absorbing the right inspiration. I get inspired from various people through all walks of life. They all have something to offer.
Vishnu, give us one scenario where you thought that change in the mindset drove the result in multifold positive way.
One big example is the current world of DevOps and SRE. Google brought it out because it was a need for them, because that is how their business operates. And now everybody wants to do DevOps and SRE regardless of is it beneficial or is it required. End of the day, it depends on your business model, it depends on your product, it depends on how you develop the product, right? But everybody in my previous organization, my boss came up and said, hey, we need to start a DevOps team. The first thing that I told him is, listen, boss, we can, but it's not going to add any value because that particular function is being done by the development team today. But what are you trying to achieve? You give me the goal or your end result that you're expecting, and we will make it happen. So he basically told me, I want speed of delivery. I said, sure, we will do that. So we picked one part of DevOps that is actually required, and we built that into our SRE practice, and it is part of our SRE practice, but it is a DevOps start. But we got a hybrid team there to deliver the speed of delivery, achieving the same without having to start the entire framework of DevOps.
I think that's quite interesting and inspiring at the same time. So talking about your favorite quotation. So Vishnu, what is your favorite quotation that stayed with you for long and which probably would have motivated or inspired you?
Intent and attitude. If you have the right intent and the attitude, you can get anything done. You can learn, unlearn, grow, sustain, survive, win. These are two things that I look for when I hire my team or encourage my siblings, encourage my friends. I think that is the punchline for me. Or that's the basic foundation for anything as far as I'm concerned. It's not just about work or career. It's about life.
Yeah, I think intent and attitude, you said it right. I think probably if somebody can master it, then it is nothing like that. Yeah, it's a continuous, as you said. And Vishnu, one last question for this conversation. What is your recommendation for someone who want to start reading? In case any good title that they can begin with, or even if somebody is an avid reader, what is a must read book in your opinion?
I think the best place to start, don't remember the book, I've read this long time ago, and one of the habits that I have is I only pick and choose what I want to read and only when I need to read. So I never complete cover to cover. But one book that really touched me was Monk Who Bought Ferrari. That I've never come across anything that is as significant as that book.
Awesome.
And it actually teaches you things to do in life and in your career. And for anybody who's starting off in life, that's a good book.
Amazing. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. A great book for anyone who wants to start reading. Yeah.
And today with all this digital thing, it's always online. It's always on the go. Sometimes you don't even know the cover that you're reading, but there is information available. Read through it.
Excellent, Vishnu. I really liked this conversation, and the takeaways are, if you have right intent and attitude, you can make paths in tough times as well, and we learn even in failures. At the end of the day, it all narrows down to keep learning and make difference to the society, to the organization, to the world at large. Vishnu, thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to talk to you about this intriguing topic of skill set versus mindset. Amazing experience that you shared with us. Thank you.
Thank you. And, I just want to thank you and also say that, whatever you're doing is not just helping professional students, IT employees or entrepreneurs to shape their careers, but it also will help their life. It's not just about careers. I think, you're basically shaping their future. Thank you for everything you're doing today to help, people in need. And this is a very noble thing to do given in current circumstances where everybody is busy trying to get their work done, to take care of their families. It is a very fast life compared to when we were growing up. And there is very limited time people have for others. And what you and Naveen are doing is, hats off to you guys. And thank you for making me part of this episode.
Absolutely. In fact, it is a touching statement when you mention it is not only shaping their careers but also lives. Yeah, honestly, Sudhakar and myself are changing our lives. For the last 90 plus episodes, we have interacted with over 80 guests to be precise.
Wow.
And every guest is different, every conversation is different, and we are getting better and better because of the support from folks like you. And thank you so much again for joining.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm blessed. Thank you.
All right. So it brings us to the trivia segment of today's episode. And today's trivia is about computer animation. And folks, I'm not going to talk about which course is good for computer animation or which institute or which university, but a very, very interesting fact. It's all about someone was fired for bringing or pushing computer animation. And who was it? Probably you'll start thinking. But once upon a time, Disney has fired Mr. John Lasseter for pushing computer animation, because at that point in time, maybe Disney did not realize how powerful this animation technology would be. Ironically, he is now the Chief Creative Officer of Pixar. So one of the companies founded by Steve Jobs, and which is again a prominent company in the animation world. Interesting, isn't it? Thank you for listening. There is more in store, folks. So stay tuned. Have a wonderful time. Take care. Be safe. Until next time, bye-bye. And we are signing off.